to type it out or to ask us in pretty much our different our IELTS group. Okay, you can totally ask questions there, or wait until the lesson. Okay, just letting you guys know one more time, this class is recorded, and today I'm going to be covering a really interesting section, which is going to be the reading section for the general test. All right, so I'm going to be covering this first part of the reading section, which is very interesting. Okay, for those of you newcomers that are here, this is a free IELTS lesson that I'm going to be doing once a week with you guys. All right, so be sure to ask any questions and make sure to join the group either on WhatsApp or contact us on English Prep. All right, we've got a really great website that you guys can get to at englishprep.com.br, which I'm going to share with you guys right now. All right, one of the ideas we have here is to help you guys to prepare yourselves for the IELTS test. All right, so if you get to our English Prep site, here it is, englishprep.com.br, which is taking forever to load. For some reason, it should load momentarily. I'll carry you through basically all the steps that we have in our website as well. It doesn't seem to be working right now, but if you go to englishprep.com.br, you'll see something that looks like this. All right, and you'll see exactly who we are, the IELTS courses that we offer, the TOEFL lessons that we offer as well. And if any of you guys need something, for example, for the SATs, we also do that, all right? It's a whole different process, so make sure that you get in touch with us so we're able to help you out as well. We also have some stats of some great students that we've passed in the last year. We got to update this because we have an extensive new list of people now, along with a very simple sample class video that you guys can check out here as well. A little bit about who we are, and then, of course, some amazing reviews. Oh, check that out. Phil is a super nice person. All right, I love these. All right, just great students. Sarah was amazing. Eduardo, all great people who have passed their tests. And then, of course, a little bit about the clients that we have here at English Prep as well. Okay, so very interesting. We've also got a great blog. If you guys have any different questions and stuff, you can ask us, and we will definitely post it on our English Prep blog. Check this out. We've got a lot of stuff on the TOEFL, on the IELTS, okay, about the reading and speaking sections, about how the test is, just a lot of really great content. This one here about our courses. So you can definitely show up here and take a look at this. And then, of course, a little more about how we can help you guys pass the test, okay? Whether it be the IELTS reading question, this is what we're gonna do today, actually, or if it's the TOEFL or anything else that you guys need, you can ask us these questions, show up to the class, and then, of course, get on the blog, which will definitely be a great way for you to get to know us a little better, okay? I think that's gonna be a fantastic way to be able to answer some of your questions, all right? Something else that we're gonna be doing as well, I would like to also share with you guys one of the application windows here. We do have a free mini course, which looks something like this, all right? It's pretty great. It's a mini IELTS course where you can just show up here and just watch the videos, which are going to take you through basically how the course actually is, all right? Of course, it's going to be with me. You can see my face there. And I'm going to be kind of, look at this one. That's great. I'm going to be kind of illustrating some of the points that I'm going to be working on with you guys as well. A little bit about me, of course. And then if you guys are interested in taking the full course, okay, you can always come to our Hotmart page where we have an entire course mapped out called The Secrets of the IELTS, okay? And in this course, we're going to be going through basically like the frame, the backbone of what the IELTS really is, okay? The introduction, the 4 listening sections, okay? And of course, a couple pitfalls of listening. In the reading section, we're going to cover all the general and academic, okay? And then we're going to be covering some of the writing sections as well. Again, this course is kind of a backbone course, which means that you're going to be understanding and watching videos about how the IELTS test is, okay? And in the videos, I'm going to be showing you my approach to the IELTS test as well, okay? And for those of you that are in class, we give you a 40% discount off of this course. Let's not forget that you also have a 7-day warranty, which means that if you don't like it, you get your money back. Fantastic, all right? Fantastic. You don't like it, you didn't adapt to the method, you get your money back, no problem, okay? And then, of course, you have access to a class with me a week where I will be helping you out with your specific needs as well, okay? So this is a great thing. You can find this on our mini landing course, our mini landing page, which I'm going to send you guys right after today's video, okay? So if you have any questions, you can always ask me either in the chat box, or you can come here and just watch a couple of the recorded classes and see if this is the right thing that you want to be able to get your IELTS score. All right, I hope I was clearing up with that. So we got a lot of great stuff going on. And now for the good stuff. Okay, let's get to it. So today I'm going to be talking about some of the reading sections on the IELTS General. Okay, one thing about the reading that I think is very interesting for everyone to know is that the general reading test is substantially easier than the academic test, okay? For two reasons. One reason is the vocabulary that you have here is not that complex. As you can see in this section 1, it's basically a notice about children at school and school attendance information. So for those of you that have kids, this will come to you as something very familiar. All right, and you can see that everything is bullet pointed and very easy for you to read. Okay, the vocabulary is not very advanced at all. And it's a really great way for you to practice your English reading tricks, okay? Even if you're not planning on taking the IELTS test right now, you could definitely ask us for one of these free books, and we'll be able to help you out with some of the reading, okay? I'm going to be using today the IELTS 11 General Training Book, and we're just going to go over a couple things for the general reading. All right. So like the academic reading, the general reading is also 40 questions. Okay. It's 40 questions, and each section has about 14 questions. Some are a little more, some are a little less. I believe that section 1 is questions 1 to 14. And then there is a part 2 where you have, no, it's about 14 questions. Section 2 is 15 to 27. Okay. And then the remaining 13 questions are going to be on sections 3 and section 4. Something interesting that you guys should know about the IELTS reading is that the IELTS reading is, the difficulty level is in a crescendo, which means that the first part, or section 1 of the reading, is the easiest one. So you really want to take advantage of this section and really try and get as many questions right in the beginning, because as it gets more difficult and as you go down to the other sections, it's going to get a little more complicated, okay? So first I'm going to cover section 1. Section 1 is quite simple. Like I said, it's the easiest section in the general. You'll have a text that looks something like this, all right? And you'll have to respond to questions about the text. The first thing that we're going to cover here are the true, false, and not given statements. All right. So true is if the statement agrees with the information, false if the statement contradicts the information, and not given because there is no information on this. Okay. Kind of a no-brainer, right? It gets tricky. Let's try one of these questions together. All right, let's go for question 1 right here. So the first part here, guys, is you want to read the statement first, or the question, and really understand what the statement means entirely before you go back up and look for the information for the statement. For example, in question 1, it says that children must go to the school where they are registered. Pretty simple, right? So children have to go to the school where they are registered. Is this true, false, and not given? If this is true, then the text is going to agree with this by stating that children must go to the school where they are registered. If this is false, it is going to contradict. It is going to say that children do not have to go to the school where they are registered. And if it is not given, there will simply be no information on this topic. Okay? How do I find the right response for this? A lot of you are probably thinking, oh my God, I have to come here and look through the different paragraphs. Do I have to read it before I start going? You don't have to. The first section, the response is always in order. What does that mean, guys? That means that question 1 is going to be in the beginning, right here. Okay, so remember, the topic is that children have to go to the school where they are registered, correct? So now we're going to read here and skim read and try to find that right information. Okay, you could also look for a keyword. For example, the word registered is a keyword which will help you to find it in the paragraph faster. And look at that. There it is, okay? So the law says that parents must ensure that their child regularly attends the school where he or she is registered. So obviously, the child needs to go to the school where he or she, is registered. So this is going to be a true. Okay, they must go to the school where they are registered. Now, notice something. They don't say the exact phrase exactly the way the question says it. They're saying it in kind of a different way, but it's the same thing. Parents must ensure, they must make sure that their child attends the school where they are registered. So this is going to be a true, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that is going to be a true right there. Children must go to the school where they are registered. True. Okay. Now let's move on to question 2. Once again, the trick is read the question, okay, and understand the key words that the question is trying to give us, okay, that main idea. So question 2 says, all arrivals after the register has closed are recorded as unauthorized absences. So all arrivals, that means everyone that arrives after the register is recorded as unauthorized. Very specific, right? Where am I going to find this? Back up to the text, right here. Where do we stop? We stopped here on registered. So then we're going to go down to the next paragraph, which is here. Make sure your child arrives at school on time. This encourages habits of good timekeeping and lessens any possible classroom disruption. If your child arrives after the register has closed without a good reason, this will be recorded as an unauthorized absence. Sounds pretty spot on, right? But here it says that if your child arrives after the register, it doesn't say everything about all arrivals. It only says that the child, if the child arrives after the register, then this is noted as unauthorized, but it doesn't say anything about all arrivals. So this is going to be a not given because it doesn't say that specific part right here about all arrivals, okay? So pay attention to the detail, people. The devil is in the details, as they say. So you really need to understand the details of the question before you find the right response. I think someone is asking me a question. I will pick the video later. Okay, no problem. All right, no problem at all. And
yeah, I see that the questions, even though they are pretty easy, they are kind of tricky as well. So you have to pay attention and you have to read carefully.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the idea. Okay. Thank you for your comments there. So yeah, that's the idea. So you got to pay very close attention because this happens a lot to a lot of people. They go, "Oh, this looks the same, unauthorized, recorded, all the rivals," but it's not exactly the same. So this is where they kind of trick you. And this is where you have to kind of pay attention to be able to maximize your points. Because the strategy here, who was speaking? I think it was Paulo, right? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
hey man, how's
Paul
it going?
here.
You all right? All right, good stuff.
Okay.
Thank you so thank you for showing up. Okay. So the idea is here, man, that and for the rest of you that are watching this recorded video, of course, is that you need to read and understand the main idea before you go and actually look for the question in the different phrase, okay? But something you guys should understand is that always continue where you finished. So if you got the question here in registered, move on to the next paragraph. Okay? Don't go back up. It's not going to be before. It's always going to be right after. But don't search too far into the text. Right after, when you finished, go to the next paragraph, and in that paragraph, they should have the right response. Okay? This is the same thing that happens in the academic reading. The academic reading, they give you those clues, especially in the first one, okay, for a reason, because they want you to find it. The test is giving you clues all the time as to where the response is, but you got to pay close attention, okay? Let's take a look at the next one here, where you've got number 3. Hey, Paul, are you with me?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Great. Hey, you want to read this one here? If your child.
Okay. Um, if your child is absent from school, you must send the school a letter to explain why.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward, right? If your child doesn't go to school, you must send the school a letter. Focus there on the word must. It's
Yeah.
obligation. That's very specific. Okay? You must send the school a letter. So it's not like you can, it's you must. All right? If they're absent.
All right.
Let's go back to the text on paragraph 3. Okay, actually, no. Yes, right after here. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. So we left off here, right? Unauthorized. So now we move down to the next paragraph. If your child has to miss school, it is vital that you let the school know why. Huh. It doesn't say anything about a letter. It doesn't say anything that you must do. It just infers that it is vital to let the school know why. And you could let the school know why with a different option, right, Paulo? You could use
Yeah.
a
You can
phone.
text. You
You
can
can
phone.
text. Okay, right
Yeah.
there. Of course, our logic, Paulo, here tells us like this is the same thing. It's this. It's not. It really isn't. It's got to be the same thing, right? So if
Yeah.
your child has to miss school, it is vital that you let the school know why. So this case here, it's not a false because it doesn't contradict. It is a not given because there is no information on a letter to explain why. Okay, you understand the difference? The false would be you don't need to send the school a letter. It would be the exact opposite. While a not given, there's just no information on sending the school a letter to explain why.
Okay. So if for the answer to be false, it has to have a it needs to have a contradiction.
There has to be a contradiction.
Okay.
Okay, that's the idea. Let me find a false for you here. Let's do number 4. Okay, staff who think a child is having difficulties at school will contact the parents. Okay, so the staff is going to contact the parents. It's very exact, right? Let's go back up here. Here we go. Here we go. So, if you know or think that your child is having difficulties attending school, you should contact the school. It is better to do this sooner rather than later, as most problems can be dealt with very easily. Okay, let's go back to the question. Staff who think a child is having difficulties at school, this is also a not given. There's nothing on staff. Sometimes you'll have this 2 or 3 times in a row, okay? So like true, not given, not given, not given, false, or something. That's also very, very common. All right? Does that make sense, Paula?
All right. Yeah, it does.
Okay, let's move down to question 5 now. Schools will contact other authorities about children who take frequent unauthorized absences. So they're going to do it. That's a fact. Let's check out here what happens. Oh, here we go. Unauthorized and so again, so after you read this one here, move on to the next, which is here. If your child is absent and the school either does not receive an explanation from you or considers the explanation unsatisfactory, it will record your child's absence as unauthorized. That is truancy. Okay, that is more of a direct contradiction because it's not going to do one, but it is going to mark it as unauthorized. Okay, so the line between false and not given is very fine. Very, very fine. Some of these, Paula, will be more obvious, and some of them will not. So you've got to be really careful with the details that you present in true, false, not given. True is very simple. It's going to be obvious, okay? Paulo likes to eat pizza. Do you like pizza, Paulo?
Yeah, I
Great.
love
Okay.
pizza.
What's your favorite pizza?
I like pizza with cheese mostly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So the text will say Paulo likes cheese on his pizza. He won't
Yeah.
say Paulo likes pizza with cheese. He'll say Paulo likes cheesy pizza. He'll say the same thing, but in a different manner. Okay, kind of like a paraphrase. So be careful where that is. But the most important trick here, Paulo, is to understand the question first and know where to look for it in section 1. And it's always going to be in order of appearance. So start at the first paragraph, skim read, which means just kind of read a little faster, looking for those key words. Okay, as the aforementioned keyword here, registered, is the one I'm looking for. So pick 1 or 2 words so you don't waste a lot of time. Okay,
Yeah.
and then when you find it, you can read the phrase around it to kind of get the main idea and the information. That make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Do you have any questions?
It is important to keep control of time.
Oh, we're gonna get to time after this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a tip on time that I think is gonna make or break your test for sure. Okay. Here's the idea. Okay, this one's pretty fun. Check this out, Paulo. So this one here, and those of you who are watching, all right, so I have to reiterate. So this one is about holiday apartments to let. What do we have here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different descriptions of apartments to let. This one is definitely fairly simple because we're going to go down to which of the statements matches the description here. Okay. Now, a word of warning to those of you who think that you're doing a really good job. You can use any letter more than once, so there is no process of elimination. All right. In other tests or other moments of the IELTS, I can go back and eliminate like half. Now I can't do that. I can use any letter more than once. So 7 and 6 could be for the same letter. All right, so be careful with that. Don't eliminate stuff that you already did. Always go back and cross-reference, okay? And also look for very specific words, all right? Let's take a look at 6 here. It overlooks a golf course. That means that you have like a view of the golf course, right, Paula?
Yeah, that's right.
In other words, right? So you have a view of the golf course. If something overlooks something else, then you can see it from your balcony. Kind of a no-brainer, right? But I always like to really read this in my own words again because some of them are so similar that you need to understand what the word overlook means. Okay? So what do I do here now, Paula? Right now, I am looking for keywords. The keyword in this phrase is obviously golf course.
Golf course.
All right. So what am I going to do? I'm going to come back up, skim read, and just see if we can't find anything on golf course. Okay. So you just read it. I don't see any golf course here. C.
I think I found on.
Oh, here we go.
B. Yeah.
There you go. Good, sir. Oh, wonderful. So you go, it's B because I found golf courses. It's not. Remember, we're overlooking the golf course. Here it says there are some fabulous championship golf courses within easy walking distance. That does not mean that you are overlooking it. It means there's a golf course somewhere you can walk to it, which is still pretty good. If you live next to a golf course, you're doing pretty good in life. So that's the idea. Yeah. Whenever you see someone playing golf, it's like because they made it. You know what I mean? They made it. They're rich. They're bored now. They have nothing else to do, so they go and play golf. That's it.
Because they can.
Yeah, because they can. It's like, I don't have to do anything, so I can just go out and try and hit a ball into a smaller hole from one hole to the other. That's the idea. Okay, so this is not going to work for us. B is not going to work. Skim read C. I don't see golf. No golf.
Local golf.
Blah, 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 blah. No golf. And F. No golf. Okay, so now we've got.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have golf course on F.
Okay, and where is the overview? Right here, right?
Yeah, with
attractive views of the golf course. That seems like we're overlooking a golf course, doesn't it? And also, there are no. There's one more golf course here. Okay, but it says the town has ideal facilities, tennis courts and golf course, but we're not overlooking it. So check that out. A regular person
see the golf course.
Yes, sir. Exactly. So, like, don't be too hasty when you're trying to, like, oh, I found golf course. I'm going to click that one. Don't do it. Understand that we are overlooking it. We're not walking to it, and we don't have this in a facility. All right. So F is the correct one. All right.
All right.
Let's go down to the next one, which is 7. It has its own parking space. Okay. So they're not going to say the word has its own parking space. They're going to say something really similar to this. All right.
Yeah.
If we go back up here. Yeah. What's another way to say you have your own parking space? Like, how would you say it?
With a parking space.
Sure. Or like the condominium has a, I don't know, like you would say a different phrase, right? But then again.
The condo has a parking space or.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. So what's the idea here is to obviously find parking space, right? Once again, that's the key word. So skim read around here, leisure facilities, spacious 1-bedroom, private parking in front of the building.
Yeah.
That seems like it's its own parking space, right?
Yeah, private.
That's pretty damn close. Yeah, that's right. Private parking means it's your own parking space. But just to be sure, we're going to continue to skim down, always looking for parking, okay? Parking there. Cafes, 2-minute walk, 1-bedroom apartment, village, golf course, bars, shops, walking distance. Nope. Busy street, shops, the beach, facilities. Okay, well, that one seems like the right one right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at this one. We have parking on A as well, but it's on-street parking is generally available. That doesn't sound very private to me, does it? On-street parking. So B, of course. Yeah, exactly. So on-street parking is not really, I wouldn't consider that private. This is a private street.
Yeah.
If you play golf and you have a private street, then that's just too much. That's the Tom Brady level that we're all trying to get to right now. After their amazing win on the Super Bowl last week, just in case any of you had saw it, it's such a great game. So happy about that. Yeah, everyone's so tired of him winning, but he deserves it. He played such a great game. You know, Mahomes didn't really have. No.
It's good to see. He's a real legend. Yeah.
But he is a legend. He is a Jedi. Like he is, because the judge was in his favor. Nope. They played such a clean game. You know. Yeah. Sorry, viewers. We're on American football now.
Our kudos to the defense because they blocked Mahomes as well. I thought
it
he
was a
was.
70. No, it's true. What you're saying is true. I would say it's an 80% defensive game.
Yeah,
That's what it was. And the protection around Brady was amazing. They let him work, you know, because he's a
yeah. The
pocket
stuff
passer. So
itself.
like he doesn't run anywhere. Mahomes is like a little jitterbug. He's like running around and passing balls, and these new quarterbacks, they're so different. But Brady, he's like limited to his own space. You know,
Yeah, having in a good solid offensive line, it's crucial to to protect the quarterback. Yeah,
you got it. That's the idea. Great game though. Anyway, so golf and parking, yeah, you would have that one. So
yeah,
let's go down to 8 real quick. It is in the center of a town. Okay, so that might sound pretty simple, but we have town a lot here. See the town, not far from the beach. It doesn't say you're in the center of the town. Ah, but it does. In central location.
central
Look at that. And
location.
this one, yeah, and this one here, it's giving you the response in two different phrases. It's not even in the same one. It's saying central location and in the town, but that doesn't mean it's in the center of a town. So again, let's just kind of go up here. Offering a high, peaceful location, edge of an island? No. Residence location, easy access. 10 minutes walk from the shopping center. No, that's not in the center of a town. So far, G is looking pretty good. Peaceful location, 3 kilometers from town center. Nope. 2 plus child. 10 minutes drive from the coast. Nope.
No,
I don't see it. Walking distance. Nope. Interrupted sea views. Edge of a town. No. So the only one here available is going to be G. Okay. And it's not
okay.
even giving you the response in a one phrase response. It's giving it to you in 2 pieces. Central location, and then it says the town has ideal facilities. In other words, it is in the center of a town. So you got to be really careful with these because you might see town and then close to the town and then 3 kilometers. You said, oh, that's pretty close, depending where you live. But no, it's not that close. And we have to be very specific about that as well. Okay. In 9 here, the sea can be seen from it. We actually read one like that. It says sea views, right?
Yeah,
So we're going to go back and look for sea. Okay. I believe it was one of these restaurants, garage owners, apartments. If you can find it first, just point it out. Okay.
okay.
Large terrace and views of the mountains, peaceful location, less than 10 minutes drive from the coast. On the town owners live. Walk from the sea. It's not a sea view. Ah, there we go. A. One bedroom
Uninterrupted
apartments with
Stevie.
uninterrupted sea views. So it's just like the ocean next to your house, like all the time.
Yeah,
That's pretty spot on. Okay. And the cool thing about this, guys, is that after you've gone through like 5 of these, you kind of read all of them a little bit. You've kind of went through each of them to look for it. So you kind of know where the other responses are. This makes it easier and easier and easier for you to be able to get the right one
yes.
as you
As you
go.
memorized most of the keywords on each letter, you just don't have to go back and forth all the time.
Exactly. So as you go, it gets faster, it gets easier, and that way you waste a lot less time going back up and cross-referencing. Okay. But again, let's not forget this is only section 1, which means that section 1 is the easiest. This is where you need to take advantage to be able to get as many questions right to compensate for the mistakes that you might get in sections 3 and 4. Okay. Sorry, 2 and 3. Passage 2 and 3. That's the idea. Okay, was that clear enough?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Like you said, time management. Let's talk about time management real quick. Well, you have. Let's look at this as like a time math standpoint. Okay, so you've got about an hour. Okay, so 60 minutes and 40 questions. Divide that by 40. So you've got like 1.5 minutes per question. Correct? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's
Okay. Okay, great. But some questions have a higher difficulty level than others, right? My advice to you is that during the first section of the IELTS test, from questions 1 to 14, you don't take over 1 minute per question. Okay? So your allotted time for the first section should be only 14 minutes long. Why? Because that will give you extra time to complete the more difficult tasks down the line. All right? So when you practice this at home, keep in mind that you shouldn't go over 1 minute per question, as it is fairly easy. Once you get to section 2, you're going to need a little more time on section 2. Section 2 has questions 15 to 27. How many questions is that, Paulo? Just since you're the math guy
it's
of the class.
about 12 questions.
12 questions, okay. So you've got 12 questions with a higher difficulty level. So you want to allot yourself section 2, maybe about like 15 minutes, okay? So you've got like 15 minutes divided by 12. You've got like 1 minute, 25 seconds per question, okay? But to make it easier, it's 14 minutes, section 1, 15 minutes, section 2, okay? And then as you bleed into section 3, you can give yourself even more time. So this time-saving ability is able to help you to focus on spending more time on the questions that really matter. For example, the questions in section 3, where you need to write the headings of each one of these paragraphs, which means we need to read the paragraph, eliminate some of the options because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sections, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I believe 9, right? Yeah, like 9 or 10. 10 obviously is an X.
Yeah.
Duh. 10 options. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means 3 of these here, class, are just no non-compete. We can't use them. That's crazy. So we can't even eliminate according to the 7 options. We have to understand that 3 of these here we can't even use. That's the tricky part. Okay. So reading a paragraph this size, for example, understanding the main idea, coming back up here and eliminating as many of them as you can to narrow down your search does take more time than picking, describing Tom Brady's apartment and his life here in Holiday's apartment, okay? So you want to make sure that you have more time to do that. So for section 1, you definitely want to be able to not spend more than 1 minute on section 1, okay? And I think 1 minute is sufficient, okay? If you're able to follow these tricks, which are read the question carefully, even if it's short, understand what it means, look for keywords, right? Golf course, parking space, center, swimming pool, new apartment complex, so it's a new one, supermarket, private outdoor area, and of course, the owners will organize parking on request very specifically, and then go back up and you'll be able to cross-reference properly, and that way you don't miss out on any of the responses, and then it'll allot yourself a little more time on sections 2 and 3, which are a little more difficult. Okay, was that clear, Paula?
Yes, yeah, it's pretty clear.
Quick question for you, man. What is a score that you're looking for right now?
I am for the highest score as possible, of course, but
Of course.
I'm looking for a 7.5 overall.
Fantastic. Okay, so in that case, whenever you're reaching for a high score, Paulo, or anyone else who's watching, is you can't make mistakes in section 1. All right? The same rules apply to the listening. If we go up to
Yeah.
listening,
Because this will allow you to make some minor mistakes on sections
later
3
down,
and
yeah,
4, for example.
exactly, for sure. Section 1, the listening, was the same thing that we covered in another lesson. Was that it's the easiest one, so you can't make any mistakes here. because if you're aiming for a high score, your mistake margin is really, really small. Maybe
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 questions tops. So you got to focus on your mistakes, on your sections that are going to give you more, make you make more mistakes. Okay, which would be in this case section 4, which is the academic monologue. The same rules apply to the reading. So to be able to maximize your points and get a high score, 7.5, allot yourself 1 minute per question in reading section 1. Okay, follow these instructions to read the question, understand the main idea, keyword, and find it in order of appearance, and you can't go wrong. All right, that's the idea. This is how we've been doing it for a long time. That's how Dad did it. That's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty well so far. So that's my line from Iron Man, if you've seen Iron Man. But anyway, so the idea here is pretty much to keep that going. All right. Do you have any questions, Paulo? Anything you want to add?
No, no, not really. Actually, this is the first time that I'm covering the reading part of the test. I am more focused on the speaking part and the writing. But yeah, that's good. But no questions.
Fantastic. That's great. You know what you could do is that since you're on the group, you could like have a collective of questions and then bring them to the classroom whenever you have a doubt, and I would be happy to answer them. Okay.
All right.
I'll give you all the insights that I can do that. I've got essays from other students that I could show you guys as well, so you can see how their approach was in order to get a high score, like a 7 or 7.5, which is very difficult. And I'll tell you right now, it's 90% structure.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine.
90% knowing how to structure your essay and where to place your ideas so that they make sense.
That would be great. Yeah.
Exactly. So, call your friends over, your girlfriend, wife, son, daughter, everyone, and let's just get that writing down, because the objective here is to get you guys passing at a very high grade. So that
Yeah.
strategy for the reading, I think, is fantastic. I follow because a lot of people, they focus on the most difficult section, but that's
Yeah.
where you're wrong. You got to get the right one right. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
gotta, you gotta do the stuff you're good at, and you gotta do the stuff you're good at better than the stuff that you're gonna have a hard time improving on. Doesn't
Yeah.
make a lot of sense, you know?
Yeah. You don't have to put aside your strengths. Otherwise, if you feel confident, yeah, that's what the where the devil lives. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the idea, man. And I give people this example a lot. Like, I love to cook, you know, but if I'm going to have guests coming over to let's say, Paulo, you're coming to my house for dinner, all right? I'm going to cook you the stuff that I know how to do best. I'm not going to try something new that I know how to make.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm going
Yeah.
to put my best foot forward as good as I can. So if I'm good at making, let's say, a pasta, I'm going to make the best pasta that I could make. So
Yeah.
the same rules
You must
apply.
give the right shots. Yeah.
Yeah, you got exactly. You got to do what you're good at. So if your writing is much better than your reading, make that writing even better, because the higher score you get there, you'll be able to compensate for your weak point. All right. One of the students that we recently passed at a 7.5, his writing was horrible and his speaking needed a lot of work, but we didn't have a lot of time to pass him. But his listening and his reading was so good. And I said, you know what? We're not going to be able to change that score of the writing in the time frame that we have. So what I'm going to do is I'm propose the opposite. Let's read and, listen to the best of our ability to compensate for that skill. And we got the score we needed. So that's also a good strategy, Put your best foot forward and use the strong points that you have to compensate for weak points that sometimes don't really improve unless you have a lot of time to study, which I'm pretty sure most of us don't. Okay?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's one of the main ideas. All right? Pretty great. Great. Well, I hope this was clear enough. All right. I'm also going to answer one more question here about writing. Can I write in the first person? Yes, you can. There's no problem with saying that. I believe, okay, there are two different things that I like to add when it comes to the writing. And one of them is to start something, for example, like this. like a hypothetical, it is said, you can do something like that. Or it is said that if someone eats too much chocolate, then they'll put on some weight. Like you can write a hypothetical like that if you want to, or you can just write in the first person for sure. All right. To respond to your question, Victor, make sure that you have grammar and spelling on point because those are things that'll make or break your essay. Especially the difference between a 6 and a 6.5 in writing is basic mistakes. So a lot of people, Paulo and class, are always trying to add these longer, like haberdashery words into their essay with hopes that that will get them a better score, but it's not going to do it if they don't have basic grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Okay, so we're going to be working on that a little bit later. All right, clear for you, Paulo?
All right. Yeah. Clear.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for coming and everyone else who's watching, all right, in this later filming video. I hope I was abundantly clear. I'll let you guys go now. It's getting a little late. You want to rest. Tomorrow's Friday, so that's the last day of the week, thank God, for most people.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions or anything, you just let me know, okay? And don't forget to check out our happy little mini course that we've set up for you guys, all right? And we'll send you guys on the group as well. You just punch in your deets, and you can watch. Oh, look, it's me. Okay. You can watch some of these videos that I've introduced to different lessons and different things that we're doing, all right? And if you actually want to go and take a look at the course that we have, which are recorded videos of pretty much me going through the entire test many times, okay, we have that available as well. Or if you're interested in private lessons, we also do that, okay? And if you want to just show up to class here and just listen to me yap for an hour, no problem. You are more than welcome, all right? So thanks again. Thank you so much, Paulo, for showing up. It was lovely that you contributed.
Right.
You can always contribute. It's great. Write down those questions and let us know. So we'll cover that in the next lesson. All right?
Pleasure to be here. Yeah. Thank you, Phil.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, dude. I'll see you later, all right? Have a great evening and a great weekend. All right? Cheers, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.